Hey class, I am excited to do some SAT practice examples with you before you go on and work on your worksheet. So sometimes we sprinkle in SAT practice within our geometry lessons just because geometry and some algebra are a huge prominent part of the SAT. So that's the reason we're doing this today, and that is what we are doing today. So today it's a little bit more algebra centric, but here are some examples. It's all about verbal expressions. So this just says write each algebraic expression in words two different ways. I'm not going to do both ways. I'm going to give you an example. So what we are looking for is something like this, like 5 times a number plus 9. Literally, that's all I need from you. Okay, so it's just how you would read this equation or this expression. Just write that out in words. You could say like 9 more than 5 times a number. That would be another way to do it. I'm just going to talk about this next one. I could say 7 times a number minus 20. Or I can say 20 less than 7 times a number. So those are two different ways to do that one. So that was the first part of our SAT lesson. Then it says to go the other way. So if they give me words, can I write an expression for that? So the hardest one for students is ones like number 3, 14 less than 3 times a number. So in this situation, the word less than does not mean this symbol. We are actually using subtraction here. So my advice is always do the addition part or the subtraction part last, okay? Always start with something times a number, and that will help you with the order. The answer to number 3 is this. 14 less than 3 times a number, it's 3x minus 14. Some people do 14 minus 3x. These are not the same thing. This one is the wrong answer because this is taking 14 and then doing taking that and then subtracting the 3x, whereas I want to take 3x and then I want 14 less than that, which is actually this side. So in order to avoid that confusion, just always start with the x and do the plus or the minus part last. So going on to number 4, 6 more than negative 4 times a number. Negative 4x and then 6 more than that. Always do the plus or the minus last. 5 times x plus 2 times y. This one's tricky because is it 5 times x plus 2 and then times y? Or is it 5 times x plus 2 times y? I'm going to do the second one, but I would also accept, so 5 times x plus 2 times y is what I did. I could also accept this, 5 times x plus 2 and then times y. I would accept that. I think you could argue that that's another version of the answer. 8 less than twice a number. Start with twice a number. Twice means 2 times, and then I want 8 less than that, so minus 8. A number divided by 8 plus 5. A number divided by, in these problems, I want you to do divided by using fractions, and then plus 5. And then half of a number, so half of a number looks like that, and then minus 16. So there we have a bunch of different algebraic expressions, but they gave us it in words and we had to write it in numbers. And then there's just some word problems, and these really are not that bad. They look intimidating, but they're not bad. This one says, which of the following choices represents an equation and solution to the following word problem? 7 less than a number is 8. The word is in math literally means equals. So 7 less than a number. We just talked about this. Start with the number and do 7 less than that. And then is equals 8. And then if this is if that's the correct one and I add 7 over to the other side, I get 15. So the answer is B. None of the other ones make sense with those words. I know that we teach problems like number 10 in algebra. This is a system. It says the difference between two numbers is 24. So since they're two different numbers, we're going to use two different letters. The difference means minus. So the difference between two numbers is 24, and the sum of those numbers is 48. So that's x plus y equals 48. Okay, cool. So then it says, what is the product? Product means to multiply. So that's what we're going to do. First, we have to solve this system. This is a pretty easy elimination problem. Those y's cancel. I get 2x. And then I can just do my calculator. 24 plus 48 is 72. So then divide both sides by 2, which gives me x equals 36. You can use your calculator, just divide by 2. That's the answer, but then that's just x. So now I also have to find y. I'm going to just plug in. It doesn't matter which one I plug into. So 36 plus y equals 48. And I'm just going to subtract the 36 over to the other side. Okay, so minus 36, minus 36, we get 12. Okay, that's y. But the question's asking what's the product of our numbers. So I'm going to multiply these two. Okay, so 36 times 12, you can see I'm putting it in my calculator, is 432. Okay, I write the answers to a problem like this on the SAT by writing the numbers in the box and then bubbling the corresponding numbers. Perfect. Last one. Again, it looks intimidating. It's a lot of words, but this one isn't that bad. It just says Michael's run has tracked the number of miles he jogged for the year. He compared the total amount with the amount he ran the year before. He was happy to discover that he ran twice as many miles plus an additional 16. The total amount for 2 years was 676 miles. Which equations, plural, are written that would correctly compute how many miles Michael ran over the course of 2 years? Select all that apply. Okay, so if the first year he ran X amount, I guess, whatever. The previous year he ran X. The next year he ran 2 times that, twice as many, plus an additional 16. So that's 2X plus 16. So we have to add this X on because we're saying this is what he ran this year plus an unknown amount from the year before. So that's why there's 3 X's, and that has to add up to the 676. So we get 3X plus 16 equals 676. So let's look at our answers and figure out which one of these matches, and it's this one, B. But then it says mark all that apply. So I'm going to go through and make sure if anything else is actually equivalent to our answer that's in pink. So let's see. This is not equivalent because it's a minus, not a plus. So it's definitely not A. This is definitely not equivalent because 676 plus 16, that's not how I could subtract this 16 over, but I don't want to add it over to the other side. So that one's a no. Now this one's interesting because if I take this 3X and minus it over to the other side, it's equivalent. And that's what this is. It's the 16 and then the 676 minus 3X. So that is equivalent to our answer. So this one counts too. All right, so there's no pressure with these problems. They're just kind of verbal practice problems. This should not take you guys very long. You got the rest of the period to work in your worksheet packet. Worksheet 8 is the homework. So let's take a look at it. Sorry for the scrolling. I know that can make people dizzy on the videos. This is just like what we just did. Okay, so you guys now have examples that kind of correspond to all of these. Just do your best with them and see how it goes. Good luck. And I will see you on Monday.